Welcome to Banshee's Craft Converse, and I sound really out of breath right now, and I don't know why. I think part of it is nerves, which doesn't make sense if you know me. But yeah, tonight I've got my epoxy resin sent to me yesterday, as well as a few other ideas and bits of equipment that I've had when I started this project around Christmas. So I thought, hell, you know what the hell, why not? Let's show you how I make my runes, my epoxy runes, like part of the process, and chat whilst we do so. But first things first, if you are working with resin, you need to make sure that whatever area you're working in, if it's on your desk, on your table, or wherever you want to work, cover it up with whatever material you can that you're okay with getting ruined. I've just got layers and layers and layers and layers of paper at the minute because I cannot find my board. Let's dive into it. So make sure as well, if you are working with resin, you want to be wearing gloves. You do not want to get this crap stuck on your fingers because, trust me, it is an absolute ball ache to get off. So let me show you what we're working with. We have our moulds. And what you want to do if you have used your moulds before, or actually even after you've purchased them and you've had them delivered, brought home, you want to make sure that you've wiped them down. Make sure they're all clean. I use multi-purpose antibacterial wipes. But yeah, I did say that this was going to be a conversation as well. I'm basically open to chatting about anything. I'm like a massive extrovert, which I kind of had an idea that I was before lockdown. But during lockdown, I've realised, and my friend will probably tell me this because she reminds me of this a lot, I really, really am a huge people person. Like, I love people. I love seeing people. I love hanging out with people. I just love people in general. And I never suspected that in myself. But yeah. Then that delightful time happened where everyone got stuck inside and yeah. It definitely took me through the ringer. I'll tell you that, but I think it did with quite a lot of people. Like, I wouldn't say that my experience was worse than a lot of others that I know have had really, really bad experiences during lockdown. I'd say it was hard. Definitely hard. Incredibly stressful. It made me... basically, it upheaved my life. Although I don't think that was the only reason as to why things changed in my life. So this is the pot that we're going to put in our mixture into. And when we put the mixture in, I've got a tub of very hot water. Very, very hot water. Because when we mix our two-part resin together, we want to make sure that there are no bubbles as we're mixing it. We want to make sure that there's no air bubbles producing, ready for when we pour. But yeah, we're going to do equal parts of the resin and the hardener. So we're going to put these two together. So we've got two separate measuring tubs for that. And we're going to go up to the 27.5 milliliter. And this is especially where you want the gloves because you do not want this on you. Like, paired together, if you pair these two together and you leave them for a few hours, they're going to harden together. Separately, God no, they're an absolute ball ache separately. So sticky. So we're going to pour this in. And if you are going to use these consistently, make sure to mark the pots. These are new pots, so I've not marked them yet, but I'll be marking them underneath an A and B because you don't want to mix the two up for when you're continuing more projects. Like, you don't want to... Because if you start mixing the B into the pot you've already got the A in a few hours it'll start hardening and crusting, and you don't want to deal with that. So some of you that know me, or probably quite a few of you now, this is my Facebook page, and I had posted like one thing to say, hey, big changes happened in my life. There we go, we got that nicely up. Yes, we have. We've got that nicely up. So those two will be ready for mixing. But yeah, big changes came about and life happened. It was very, very unexpected. Definitely unexpected. I never planned anything of what happened at the end of last year, beginning of this year. So basically, to get that elephant out in the open, I was with my partner for quite a long time, several years. So I'm pouring these both in at the same time because I kind of want a nice mixture going in. I don't want to just layer one on top of the other. But yeah, I was with my partner for several years, and lockdown happened. And lockdown was kind of an eye-opener for me in personal reflection. I'd say I had reasons, a lot of them personal, so yeah, my life is not for dissection on the internet, so I'm not sharing. But let's not get off topic now, shall we not? So right now we've got the mixture together. I am oh so slowly mixing it, trying to fold it as I go to try and release some of the air bubbles out of it, but I'm also doing it whilst it's in the hot water, and I'm going to keep it standing in the hot water for quite a while. I will probably change out the water as well at some point to make sure that we're really boiling away all those bubbles in here whilst I prepare the second mixture, because what we're going to do is, I haven't decided a colour scheme yet for what I'm doing. I'm basically going in blind right now. All I know is I'm pairing two resin colours together and I'm going to make something. I'm going to make something. I don't know what I'm going to make, but I'm going to make something. I had a lot to think about, a lot of personal reflection. I struggled with my own mental health many years ago, but I found ways to strengthen my mental health. I found ways to cope with it, but in healthy ways. Art being one of them. I'd say art, writing, books, music, they really help. They help a lot. Music soothes the soul. Art soothes the soul. Creativity soothes the soul. Books soothe the soul. They are a way to escape, but also reflect on yourself, who you want to be, who you used to be. And I did a lot of that. I got pretty damn nostalgic during lockdown. And I think that was also because I was coming up to a big birthday. In December, I turned 30. Yay, big 3-0. You know what? Didn't really bother me, the age. The age itself didn't bother me, but I think the things that had happened in the year before, the things that were happening in the year, there was just a lot of fear, a lot of death, just a lot of health issues. We had a lot of health issues in the family, which made things a little bit harder and left my sister and me concerned a lot for family. We should really also be concerned about our own healths, but hey, concentrate on family first. Which is what we did. So I was coming up to 30. And yeah, like I say, the age itself didn't faze me. I was not fazed in any way about turning 30 until I got closer and closer to it, and then the days kind of melted because I was stuck in the house. And I know a lot of people that I've spoke to felt the same. They were waking up. I was waking up in the morning. I was doing my usual routine of getting dressed, making sure my hair's brushed, wash my face, you know, all that jazz. Then I was going downstairs, turning the computer on. I was getting the brew, because my desk was downstairs, so I was working downstairs in the living room, so I'd come downstairs at like 7:30, 8 and set up and just, yeah, I'd start working. And then I'd finish work and I wouldn't know what to do with myself, so I'd watch some TV and just hang out downstairs, and I wouldn't really do much until I got tired, and then I went to bed, and then I did it all over again. And then the weekends came and you can't go anywhere. So, and we liked traveling around quite a bit, if not to different like countries, cities. We'd like to go for walks to places, and we couldn't do that. And you know what, to be fair, we weren't an issue in that way. Look, there was no arguments going on in there. We actually got on really pretty well, considering we were trapped in the same house, staring at the same four walls. We actually got on pretty well. And of course we got on pretty well. After the separation, we actually lived together a few months before I moved out eventually. And so yeah. And still as pleasant and respectful as we were at the very beginning of lockdown. But yeah, stuck staring at the four walls. I went into a dark place during that time. I really went into a dark place because it made me stop and consider who I am, who I was. Did I like the person I'd become? Was I happy? And honestly, I could say I couldn't remember the last time I could look into a mirror and say, I am happy with who I am. I'm happy with who I've become, because honestly, I was not. I ended up looking this up, but yeah, the 30 life crisis is a real thing. It is a very real thing, and a lot of the people that I've spoken to during and after that event have told me about their stories, and I'm not going to share their stories, but you're very welcome to share yours below if you want to. I decided I needed to find myself again. I just couldn't look in the mirror and say, I love that person staring back at me, because I did not love that person staring back at me. I was exceptionally depressed, and it's like I was kind of ignoring things as well. Like, in your subconscious, something comes up to the surface when you've got enough time to stop and think. And there was a lot of personal reasons, but I'm not diving into those because not your business. But no, yeah, I made a decision, and I thought it was the best for both of us. But right now, let me show you my epoxy resin colorant, my resin ink. Look at all my beautiful colors that we can play with. And I don't know what to play with right now. But one of the books that I've kind of been looking at the minute is maybe inspiring me a little bit. I might try something, but it's the Kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold liqueur. And it's an absolutely beautiful concept. If you're not familiar with Kintsugi, definitely look into it. But yeah, it's an incredibly beautiful concept, which I absolutely adore. So yeah, let's do something with this one as well. So we might do a pure white. I think we're going to do a pure white resin, and we're going to try and keep it clean. And I have gold flakes, so we're going to add in some gold flakes. Then we're going to do a very light blue tonal resin. That'll go on top and over, and I'm going to try and swirl it in. I may add some fine glitter to it. If we've got gold flakes at the front, let's add some fine gold. Don't know if you can see that properly, but it's very fine gold glitter. It's very lovely, this blah blah blah. I keep tripping over my words. La 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 la. I don't know why. Da da da. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go change out my water right now. Okay, there we go. The water is nice and boiling again. Like I said before, you may need to change the water out, because I can still see we have some bubbles contained inside the resin mixture. So we want to try and boil the bubbles out as much as possible. You don't want them to carry over into the final mixture. But yeah, I cannot remember where the hell I was. Bought my own house in May. Well, before that, but it took quite a bit of time to move, which is why I was still living with the ex-partner. Which, you know what, even though I had my midlife crisis and I felt like I had to find myself again and I got all nostalgic, and I have changed, you know what, in those past months, I have changed, and I know I've changed, and I've been told I've changed in such a positive light as well. And I feel if I was to look back at me from a year ago, that would be a completely different alien person. I love who I am now. I can genuinely look in a mirror and say, you know what, she's pretty cool. Because my ultimate goal is to try and be the person that a younger version of me would look up to. And so that is my goal, to be the person that young me looks up to and says, she's awesome. She's just, she embodies everything that I hope to be and more. And yeah, that's my goal. Oh, and that is nice, white and liquidy, and looks incredibly questionable. But it's not that kind of channel, kids. One drop, and let's see what happens there. We don't want to put too many drops in if we want a nice pale. See, that's it so far. Ooh, look what I just did. And that's why you put and that is why you put cover on your freaking why the hell did I had a moment, okay? I had a stupid moment. That happens quite a lot. I have a lot of stupid moments. One teeny drop, because almost all of my drop went out with that. Let's try not to tip it this time. Yeah, we've got a nice blue going on. A nice blue, in nice contrast to the white. Those feel very, probably see the colours through there. I'm going to try not to tip it. If I can. You know what? No, you'll see it on the pour. You'll see it when I pour it in, okay? Because I'm not going to risk that again. I've lost some resin. But it's fine. It's not going to get my desk. It's fine. I covered it all up. Good. Oh, I'm an idiot. I might need to cut some of this video down as well, though. So what we want to do, let's get my wipes. Yeah. Just going to clean down some of my fingers before we mess about with the next bit. Okay, we've got our molds. So because I want to do a Kintsugi inspired piece, I'm going to be using some gold flakes. Now these are incredibly awkward to play around with, like incredibly awkward. They go everywhere. Look, it's already sticking to me. So what we're going to try and do is, here's the gold flake. So you've got all the gold flakes in here. It's very nice and fine, and I adore gold. I just really adore gold in general, and if you're one of the few people that have seen my post of my living room. So yeah, because I've moved house, I've been trying to design the house into just a nice, the aesthetic feel is modern Gothic manor is what I'm trying to go for. So yeah, let's see how I go with that. So what I'm doing is I'm picking at it and I'm trying to layer it in a way that makes it appear, I won't say crack-like, because I don't think I can get it perfectly cracked. It's very tricky to work with gold leaf. You know what, if any of you have any tips on better management of gold leaf, I would happily take those on, because this is going to take absolutely forever. Ooh. So do you know what, I may pause the video on this part so you're not just staring at me fighting with gold leaf, because yeah, that won't be fun. See you in a minute, or 20, or an hour. This could take an hour. Oh, okay. Didn't take as long as I thought it would, but I didn't think you'd want to sit and watch. But hey, there is my gold flake. Now patted very nicely into place. So I've cut it as I've gone along. Tweeze it, place it down, cut it, and then once I've got it in, I've kind of like played around with it and like shifted it into position so it's spread out nicely. So as you can see here, it's spread out quite nicely. You don't want it all clumped together into certain bits. It wouldn't, yeah. It doesn't come across great when you put it in, especially if you've got like dyes that you really like and you really want to show the colours coming through. Although these are going to be like really basic dyes, but the back will be glittered because we're having glitter. So yeah, let's put that back here for now. Our blue though, I did say the blue was going to have glitter on it. Extra over. Ooh, that is nice. I would show you, but I might tip it out again. So let's not do that. We don't want to tip it out again. But yeah, I was thinking, I kind of delved off. I went in a weird little tangent there because I've not planned what I would say. I basically planned just to say what came to mind. And whether I almost swore again. I gotta stop swearing. Look at that nice fine glitter. Let's put some of this in the blue. We don't want to put too much in straight away to overwhelm it. Oh, but that is coming out lovely. That's going to set off really nicely against the gold flakes and the white. You will see what I mean when we do the pouring and we finally have it set. So it's not going to set straight away today. You will get updates on when they've set. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I'm going to definitely show you when it's poured. At the minute, I can't really show you, otherwise we'll have another accident. We don't want another accident, do we? No, we don't. So now we're going to pour in the white and try and even it out across the moulds. But yeah, I went on my little tangent there, didn't I? I was trying not to go on a tangent, really. But yeah, life and things happened. And sometimes you just can't help what happens, really. And, oh, you can, I don't know. Maybe what I did was helping. Look at that questionable liquid we're now going to pour. But yeah, I took a big risk. I would call it a risk because it really was a risk. It was a big life change. And yeah. And you know what? One thing I hate though. Oh, there's one thing that I kept getting said to me, which I hate. I hate the phrase. I think it's. But after it had been mentioned that I'd made a big life decision, then you get people saying, "Oh, I could never do that. I could never be on my own at 30. I could never. You are so brave." No, let me shut that down right now. Do not say that. Because there are other men and women out there that are in so much more dire situations that are braver. I was not in a dire situation. I just made a decision. A decision not many people can make, apparently. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're all adults. We should be able to act like adults. Live like adults. You know what I mean? But no, I moved into my own place and I've never lived on my own before. So it was an experience. Like when my parents used to go on holidays when I was younger and I used to stay at home. This was like when I was 17, 18. I couldn't be alone. A little bit of me was like scared of being alone. But I like being around people still, so yeah. I had people around me constantly. I've always lived with someone. I've never not lived with anyone. So the first night when I moved in here, God, it was terrifying. It was terrifying. Because you had all of these questions in your head, like going, Is this right? Have I made the right decision? What the hell am I doing? I had a lot of doubt on my own. Could I do this? Could I be on my own? Could I be that independent woman I used to be that I wanted to get back? Because I used to be, years and years ago, I used to be incredibly independent. I was just incredibly independent. And I lost a little bit of that. But since moving into my own place, since experiencing being on my own, it's those nights when it's just you. And now I've had quite a few of those nights, and I'm okay with them now. I've gotten myself now to a point where I've built my life. I feel I'm quite successful. I'm quite happy now. I'm doing well. I am doing well for myself. And I am able to be alone. I've now gotten to the point where if anyone was to be introduced into my life, it would be because I want them to be, not because I need. Let's get that little bit out of there. Where'd you sneak into, you sneaky hair? You have like long ass hair and it likes to sneak in places. Let's tweeze you out. Cute. You gotta have a keen eye with these things. There we go. Set the resin in. But I feel like I've now become the person that younger me used to idealize. Like, I'm now that woman that I'd see down the street and be like, Mom, I want to be like her. And I like that I've become that person. And I will continue to be that person. And more. And better. With a better closet. Yeah, I'm just in a good place now, which is why I'm bringing this channel back. Why I feel ready to come back. I now have my own place that I'm fully interior designing. And at some point in the next year, I'm gonna get a puppy. One of my sisters has done a rescue thing where they rescued a puppy from Romania, and I'm gonna use the same company. Got a huge back garden, enough space. I've got a decent space house here actually. I've done alright for myself. Careful planning right there. Careful planning and luck. It's incredibly therapeutic, you know, to just drip. Ooh. Okay, now we've done the white. See if I can show you real quick. Now we're going to be pouring the blue, which has come out really nicely. So it's not fully blue, it's like a nice darker shade of blue. But what I'm going to do here is, I've got the white on, I'm going to lay the blue down in a moment. Just give them a nice little bump and shake. So what that'll do is it'll even out the resin, like it'll coat it even more on the base. There we go. It's looking really nicely paired up with the gold. So I'm really liking the results so far. Yeah, I'm going straight to pouring because, yeah. Ooh, it generally takes a good, I'd say a good 12 hours, considering they're quite thin at the minute. And then I'll be mixing up the base. For the base, I may do blue again, but in a little bit of a darker tone, but still trying to keep light. because this is going to come through to the white, so we'll still see that nice blue tone, which is good. So we've got a nice creamy blue mixture right here. Which I should do some horror themed ones at some point, because I have been getting a few ideas for some horror themed runes. You know what, if there's any runes you'd like to see. So far I've done a galaxy theme, fire and ice theme, Kintsugi theme, which is going to look oceanic. I'm going to do a horror theme next. If there's anything you'd like to see me do, just pop it down at the bottom and I'll see what I can do. Okay, so that is just about done. Oh. Well, that got a little bit deeper than I expected. Yeah. So hey, I'm back. I'm gonna be talking about more lighter things in the next ones. Probably tell you a little bit about the campaigns I've been in at the minute. Yeah, I played a lot of campaigns over lockdown, like D&D, Vampire. Those RPG games have seriously got me through some hard times and some very dark nights. So I'm incredibly appreciative of those games and of the people that I play with as well. Like over this past year, I've made new friendships, I've developed old friendships, I've got to know some incredibly kind people, some incredibly wise people. Yeah. Keep on being you, all you guys, because you know what? You're all amazing. You're fantastic. A lot of you have definitely had a big impact on me. Yeah, just keep being you. Keep being awesome. And hopefully I get to see a lot of you soon, which would be nice. But yeah, bye for now.